And what I just realized as I was uploading that other video, I can talk about this for like 30 minutes. I can. It was about therapy. I'm looking at it. I was like, actually, I can add this to it. I it's wild because I really try to share everything I've learned from my doctor with everyone because it's expensive. Not everyone vibes with their therapist. Not everyone trusts them. Not everyone can afford it. And I'm at this point where uh, I know better to not just go because I know it's during times of peace, and you should go even when nothing, like when it's boring, because that's also a good baseline because they can determine like, oh wow, this is how Alessandra's like when there's she's bored and there's not bored in a bad way, but just baseline calm. Like there's nothing crazy going on in her life. You kind of need people, not even just your therapist, like you people around you should see that. Like this is what, again, there's got to be another word besides boredom because it's maybe not very stimulated. Yeah. No, that doesn't even get it across. But anyway, um, enough about that. I should probably write more about it. Um, but yes, going back to mushroom people. Yes, okay. I forgot that video was so funny. I think I was just rolling around. I do this thing. It's bad. Just sometimes I just go in my bed and I just roll around and I start laughing. Like I know I should be doing other important things. Like sometimes something is so funny I just have to roll around. I'll be like ha ha ha. I'll be like hee hee. And then I'll stop rolling around and do whatever I'm supposed to do. There's this anime called K-On! K-On. It's a little older, but there's this character named Yui, and she would just do that all the time. She would roll in her bed and just laugh when she was supposed to be doing something important. But yes, and I think the camera was like it just started to record. I was like, oh okay. I was like, here we are. And I remember I was giggling about something, so I had to like cut that off. I don't know. Some people are telling me just like to put it out, even though it seems silly, because it's like truly myself. But I don't know. I kind of say some. For me, I just get a lot of ADHD and I lose my train of thought. Like at one point, I started talking about how in California just like hills are on fire, and I'm not used to that, and people like, yeah, people on the West Coast, like you guys live in hell. Like it's everything. I don't know. You guys are like super chill about that. I will never entirely understand it. And that was that moment that everyone realized I was out of town. Not out of town, like I'm from a different part of the country. Cuz I really was freaking out the first time I saw like fire on that level. I was like, you guys should do something about that. Or like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, not here. But anyway, yeah, somewhere you're saying you actually want to see some of these videos. I'm like, no, I'm just like, everything is, the ADHD is bad. I'm trying to manage it. I like make a deal with myself as long as if I can return to what I was originally talking about, then like we're good. Yes, mushroom people. So everyone has different gifts because that's what I realized talking to people. I'm definitely that person where a lot of people are wondering what the hell am I taking because I'm on some other weird I gotta take my notes out because my favorite thing to do is just write during these states. I just love just writing, whether it's on my phone, um, typing it, or like physically writing, or it's so crazy. I know I have a good session when I just it's it's so bad. Well, it's scary if another person's checking on me, but I like write on these post-its, and it's like out of this desperation to get all of this, like, from the ether, from the pleroma, from me to paper. So I'm just writing like this lunatic, and I'll have post-its. I'll wake up to like post-its all over my couch, all over me, all over the table. It looks crazy, but it it gets it out. There's a lot, and sometimes I get sad because sometimes I there are literally no words for me to. I'll feel a concept. They sort of, I don't know how to say this, but like, if you've ever encountered like angels, or whatever you want to call those, or let's say something on supposedly an angel level, those motherfuckers speak in triangles and shapes. Like, don't get me started. They speak in triangles. So I know some people are always telling me, like, tell me what they're saying. I'm like, I don't know, start learning Hebrew. There's math in that. Like, it will help a lot because they're they don't speak English. I used to have this thing when it's already 7 minutes, fuck it. I used to have this thing where people would ask me about my cat, and I don't know why I would respond to people like, yeah, he just speaks English. Yeah, Penny just because what that implies is that Penny can speak Spanish. or 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 just any other language, like, at some point. Why did I say it like that? No, my cat just speaks English, but anyway. Yeah, so yeah, those motherfuckers just speak in triangles and shapes, and good luck. Good luck. Like, I'm trying my hardest, and it's a very altered state. And I don't chase it. So I was when was the last time? Hold on. What is that? If I die, I die, okay. It was good knowing you. Oh no, it's just the air conditioner, okay. You're like, this girl is so dramatic for like no reason. Imagine it's a raccoon in there, it's just like just that happened in my childhood home. There was like a raccoon in our attic, and it just like it's like fat raccoon ass just came down, and yeah, like animal control had to be involved because it was bad, and like there was a nest up there, and it's weird because then your place of home becomes a war zone, and Alexander, focus. Okay, mushroom people. No, it's bad. Um, yes. So everyone has different gifts. And I've learned not everyone. Well, some people I know get visuals. They get intense visuals. They get very intense visuals, but I don't get that, which is very interesting. So everyone's talking about all this, like, everything's breathing, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Nothing happens to me. So I just kept taking more, and nothing would happen. And I remember at some point I was like, yo, these aren't shit. It's not. I've been doing some research on it. Supposedly, it has different effects on women because psilocybin bonds to estrogen and progesterone differently. So now, like, I'm like, great. Like, we don't know everything about. So as usual, it's up to me to figure it out. So I can be like what, like a herald of just random information, Alessandriisms, but yes. So I don't see visuals. So I thought there was something wrong with me. but I realize I do feel more connected to nature, so that's like a minor one. Um, I do experience not having fear, which is very interesting because that goes into this whole PTSD thing. And so I have like PTSD from childhood abuse. I don't want to get into that, but I had a very violent childhood, and it was a lot. And so thank God for structure and systems because I can function pretty normally. I should be more fucked up in some ways, but I'm doing well. I need to give myself more credit, and I love telling people that because I always feel like I'm a mess. But then some people, I have this friend that she says all the time, like, "Oh, what does she say? I'm mentally disabled." I'm like, "Girl, you're not. Do you need a trip to like like a mental health facility? Like, girl, you're fine. Like you just keep forgetting when to take out the recycling, but it doesn't mean you're just unfit for society. Like it's like chill. Like just chill. We're being a little just a little baby bit too hard on ourselves. We don't want that. We don't want to be like too critical. But anyway, um yeah, I wanted to record this earlier, but my brother interrupted me by just he just had to get whatever he had to talk about out. I'm like, cool, max an hour. I can easily talk to him for 3 or 4 hours. Back to subject. I think it's making me nervous talking about this. I think that's why I keep going in circles. Yeah. So, mushroom people. Um, I don't know what to. So all of a sudden one night they just appeared, and okay, there's levels of creatures, okay, but this is also pertains to like ghost stuff. But that happens to me normally without drugs, so without shrooms. So that's so funny. Like by automatic user default settings, Alessandra can already sense ghosts. Yeah, that's a whole. Cause then there's like these little cute things. I don't know what to call them. I call them like yokai, because that's the best way to describe them. Like the Japanese call them like little spirit things, and because sometimes they're really harmless. They're just like little like they're just like this guy. Like they're just like these little things. And they're like "Bloop, bloop, bloop." I'm like, all right, whatever. It's like a bird or a squirrel. I don't every time when you see a squirrel, you're not bugging the fuck out, trying to destroy it. You just acknowledge it, unless it's doing something weird. But you just kind of acknowledge the squirrel, and it's because people ask me all the time, like, "What do you do when you see ghosts?" I'm like, "What do you mean? You just leave them the fuck alone." Like, I don't talk to everyone I see in the subway. My God, like, use some discernment. Jesus. Anyway, um, you don't you kind of like let them go. Then there's like mid level. You're getting more. They have more features to them. They have more. So now you're not dealing with a bird or a squirrel. You're dealing with something like a dog, I guess. There's more autonomy there. And at the higher levels, and I always tell people, these are the ones you should worry about more because they're humanoids. And the humanoid ghost or demons or whatever you want to call them, excuse me, are a little scarier because they have more power. For them to achieve like a humanoid state, something had to happen. Like they're usually very powerful for them to be like that. But anyway, so mushroom people are kind of similar. Creatures are similar too. Like sometimes they're just like these little creatures floating around. Sometimes they're bigger. Maybe they look like, I don't want to say they look like deer because that's sort of putting it into the category. But the ones that I'm most concerned about are the humanoid ones because they can speak. They can really speak back to you, and they can really do something. But these creatures are quite interesting. I will definitely say that. They maybe I should cut this video off. Keep editing it. Okay, I'll just finish it in 3 minutes, and I'll continue more tomorrow. But one night, maybe I am really nervous talking about it because it sounds so crazy. One night, I just finally saw it, and it was crazy. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was like the amount I was taking. If I call, let's call him Steve because that's what I call him. And if I really look close, like if you really look close, if you're not that, they do kind of look freaky. If you look really close into them, you could see that they're not really humans. You can see like the gills. It's kind of looking like at a real mushroom, how it has like a, what is that, multifidus looking thing? Like it just like these little ribbons, the fibrous structure, like the gills of the mushroom. If you really look closely, you will see their gills. But they look like us. So it tries to pretend. I think for it to communicate to me, it felt more comfortable looking like a human. And yeah, it was kind of freaky because for hours of not seeing any visuals, and I'm just in myself, which is not, I don't have fear. I guess you're just kind of sitting there waiting for something to happen, and nothing is happening. But then you kind of hear that people have different experiences. You hear they have positive experiences, and nothing is happening to you. Then all of a sudden, this thing that looks like a Sesame Street character, but it's a mushroom, comes out of nowhere. And I didn't know what to call him. I called him Mushroom Steve. And like he just dropped some knowledge, like he just, I'm like, it was wild. It really was. It was crazy. Like he was saying that, and I'm not even up to the light beings. The light beings are incredible too. Like those are really interesting. So like one day I saw like rays of light and it would speak to me. I was like, what the, you're alive? And it kind of replied to me and said, yeah, of course we're alive. And I said, well, then we gotta talk about you. Then we gotta like get the word out that you're sentient and you exist and you have thoughts and you're able to communicate with me. That's incredible. And it replied, the light replied back and said, you human beings have no respect for animals, for your nature, for trees, for anything natural, for maybe some dogs and cats, but for the most part, there is no respect for like human beings and different life forms. Like we're so obsessed with this idea of UFOs, but we're not even. I have some time to wash my makeup off. We're so obsessed with this idea of aliens that we won't even have respect for the aliens we already have, I guess. Um, now I remember. It started to say, "Look how you treat whales. What makes you think your society or culture or humanity is ready to accept that light is a creature? It's like a sentient being. When you can't even when you don't even have respect for basic nature or just creatures or animals." And I just was not expecting that out of a little ray of sun or light. And now, when I see these things or I see something glitter more than usual, I remember that whole incident that perhaps, there is something truly with us that we do not entirely understand. But going back to the humanoid mushroom, it was trying to take me, it was so excited, um, that it was trying to take me back to the big mycelium. And I was scared because I kept thinking, like, you're gonna bring me back home, right? It sounded like I was being spirited away. So I said, hey, you're gonna bring me home. Like, you guys are great. And I remember that I told everyone about Mushroom Steve for a while, and everyone would ask me, like, girl, what mushrooms are you on? Like, what is she on? And as I've said in the beginning, everyone has different gifts because I'm sort of not having fun in the same way people are having. And also, by the way, you're supposed to really be indoors with, like, in a blanket with your eyes covered, looking deep, introspectively in yourself. But we don't do that. People just go to festivals and go do dumb shit while they're in shrooms, and you're really not supposed to. It's a very spiritual plant and a very spiritual process, and we sort of kind of just abuse it in a way. We sort of just abuse it, and that's kind of fucked up. So I will have more for you tomorrow because I'm it's getting all right. Love you. Good night.